Right, morning guys. I'm on the wife's phone this morning. It's Saturday and I have to do these videos on a Saturday because if I try and do them when I get home from work, I always get them so late and it's so bloody dark you can't see them. So what I'm doing today is I said I'd do the one, if you go through, we've done the booking tiles. Now there's the load alerts tile. Now the load alerts tile is when you go onto the Courier Exchange app, think of it like a noughts and crosses one. That's the one that's left of the middle. And this is probably going to be, these two tile squares are the ones you're going to use the most. I haven't done a picture of the thing, but when you click on load alerts, what it will do is it will fire up anything in a 10-mile radius or maybe a 30-mile radius, depending on how you set it, on what jobs are available as according to as you put it into the computer. So if you put in, I want to see jobs up to small van, you'll only see up to small van. If you put on, say, jobs I want up to see 7.5 tonners, you'll see them too. So, but bearing in mind the fact it's a Saturday, there are absolute jobs on the exchange. There are very few jobs on a Saturday will ping up. So what I've done is I took some photos of a job, on all the photos of jobs that pinged up on Friday when I was sitting there in Slough. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the phone and I'm going to show you the photos and describe what it'd be like in real time. So bear with me. So we're going to go to the phone here. Right, here's the phone. There we go. Right, same as before. So what you're looking at is you'll click on load alerts, and you'll get something up like that. So say, for example, let's look at the middle one. That's Sutton to Weybridge, picking up at 4 o'clock, deliver as soon as possible, small van. So click on that, and you'll get this thing come up. Sutton to Weybridge, small van, 17.4 miles. That's a very small job. 17.4 miles, small van, they're like taxis. They go for silly money, but normally 30, 25 quid, depending on where you are, depending on when you win them. Because bear in mind, however small the job, it's still going to take your time. So what you do at this point, you click view on map, and this will come up. So now you're looking at that job there. Now that job's telling you distance to pick up, 17 miles. Because it's London, it's through London, that's going to take you 49 minutes. It'll actually take you longer than 49 minutes. And then the distance itself, now, you got to ask yourself, is that job worth it? It's going to take me an hour to pick it up. It's probably going to take me, by the time I've picked it up, delivered it, another hour to deliver it. 2 hours work, might get 25 quid. If, for example, you were a bit closer, you might think, lovely, that's something for me. But maybe you go, okay, not that job. So you go back on next job down, Slough to Weybridge. Long wheelbase. Now we're talking more money. The bigger the van, the more the money. So we click on that one. Long wheelbase, and it's 13.1 miles. Now, if you're a long wheelbase, you quote £1 a mile, you're going to do it for 13 quid. No one in their right mind is going to do it for 13 quid. You've got to have like a minimum. You've got to think, well, I'm a long wheelbase, the least I want to charge is £40. So, again, click view on map, and that comes up. Now, that job's only 8 miles away, 16 minutes. Now, that's in your favour, and that's in the customer's favour, because you'll ring them, and you'll go, look, I'll do that job, 40 quid. And then they'll go, okay, when can you be there? You go, I'm 8 miles away, I can be there in a quarter of an hour. Because obviously they will then tell their customer, I've got someone coming in. And when you turn up 15 minutes later, the people that book the job go, bloody hell, these guys are good. They must have 1 million vans on the road, we'll use them again. So that's a good little job. So if you've got a long wheelbase, I'd probably quote that job, I say, for about 40 quid, because it's only a long wheelbase. And if you could be there in 15 minutes, chances are you'd win it. Chances are you'd probably have the whole thing done in a couple of hours. That's not so bad, 20 quid now. It's doable, you know. The next one down, West Drayton to Salisbury. Right, let's have a look at this one. So that one's long wheelbase again, 77 miles. So that job you're kind of going to quote on the money. So that job would be probably around 75 quid if you want to be slightly keen. View on map, 6 miles to pick up. That's lovely. So that's 14 minutes and 77 miles. The only thing to bear in mind is the fact you've got to pick it up. Now look at the time. So we're picking this up at 3 o'clock. Okay? So the job itself is going to be 77 miles. It's going to take an hour, hour and a half. It normally tells you the time. So you pick it up at 3. You're going to be in Salisbury at 4:30, 5 o'clock. You ain't going to get a job out of Salisbury at 4:30, 5 o'clock. So if you live in London, you might think, oh, that's a nice little job. That'll earn me 75 quid. And you're running on £25, 25p a mile, and then you've got to run back empty, you're running back on 50p a mile, that whole thing, you're not going to get rich. But at the same time, if you live in Southampton and you've been running in London all day, that job comes up, you might go, do you know what, I'm going to ring them up, I'm going to quote them that job for 40 quid. because it's 60p a mile. I'm going back anyway. It's like a return to backload journey. I'm going home. That job will take me home. That's the ideal job for me. You know, so bear in mind where you are, where you're going to, times. Bear in mind, you know, if that was, say, 9 o'clock in the morning, not a problem. 77 quid, you'll end up in Salisbury, get a job out of Southampton, get a job out of Portsmouth, Winchester, going back. I think of it like a circle. I think when I wake up in the morning, the circle is big. 200 miles isn't a problem. As time ticks by, the circle shrinks and shrinks and shrinks and shrinks to the stage, if I get to about 3 o'clock and a job comes up and it's grey out, I go, it's not worth it. Because I'm going to do the miles out, I'm going to come back empty, load of time, load of wear and tear on the van. Next one, where are we going? Horsham to Crawley, Luton van. That's going to be a nice job because it's Luton, hopefully. Now you see that's 11 miles, view on map. That's a bit of a distance to pick it up. You're looking at an hour to pick that up. The job itself is probably worth about 60, 65 quid because it's Luton Curtainside. And Luton Curtainsides get a lot of money because not that many people are always running Luton Curtainsides. And people will pay. It might be 4 pallets, fork trucked on. They will pay to move them around the corner. It would be lovely if it was close. Again, take into account where you are, where you're going. If you live near... Another thing is, you know, it's the time. Picking up at 4 o'clock. If you're in Horsham, you live near Crawley, you go, look, I can be there in an hour, but I'll do the job for 40 quid because, you know, when you're finished, drive around the corner and you go home. Lovely.